It's just some yellow substance, quite strange here. It's in Backwater Dam Reservoir. It's the 5th of November 2023. Just wondering what the heck this is. This reminded me of the stuff that's at. I've got this sample of in my bottle at home. Yellow stuff that I collected from the puddles. So Backwater Dam Reservoir, yellow substance in the water, 5th of November 2023. It stretches all the way around from there. It's right down to the far end. It's probably way out there as well. It looks like it's even up one of the banks. I don't know what it is. It reminds me of the substance that I saw a few months back in Dundee, like that powdery stuff that I've got a sample of. Now I'm going to maybe try and get a sample of this as well. I've got a cup, water, an old disused cup. I'm going to have to maybe dig that out now actually before it gets too cold and dark. I'll maybe take a sample of that back. It's the 5th of November 2023 here at Backwater Dam Reservoir. I find it very strange. Right, so I've took a sample of it in this bottle. It's just so like the stuff I got the last time from the puddles in Dundee and the substances around about that area. Not just one specific area in Dundee, but around it. And this is what behaves when you throw water into it, stones into the water. So I don't know what it is. Very bizarre. I've come to this place quite a lot of times over the years and I've never saw this before. This is strange stuff in the water. Normally it's a fairly recent thing for me. I'll just try and give you what it behaves like. It's actually green. That's thick. Whatever the heck that is bloody very concentrated. I mean, look at the way it's behaving. What the fuck is that stuff? I really want to know what that is. Excuse my language, but what is it? It's all over the loch. This is obviously more concentrated here because it's at the shallower bit. But when you're further out, it's deeper at all. I've never saw anything. That reminds me of powder paint. That's what it reminds me of. That sort of paint you mix with. Well, it comes a sort of like I don't know, like a powdery kind of, powdery substance paint. You add water to it and then you get your colours. That's what this reminds me of. And that's exactly what it reminded me of the stuff in Dundee. And the puddles and on the roads. I mean, it'll be everywhere, but it just obviously shows up when it's in the water. This substance could be anywhere. It could be all around. You know, if it's been dropped from a plane or whatever. I don't know if it's been dropped from planes or not. I don't know where it's coming from, but one may wonder. Because I've seen this substances all over the pavements and roads before. White, frothy stuff. A few months ago I saw yellowy stuff. Powdery-like substance in the puddles. Because obviously the water will highlight it. So just because it's in the water doesn't mean that it's only in the water. It can mean that it's everywhere else as well. So what the heck is that? It's just absolutely nuts. It's bizarre. I've never saw anything like this before. And as I say, this is the drinking water reservoir up at Backwater Dam Reservoir. Now that I've mentioned that, I'm tempted to go down to check Lynchrathan. Although it'll probably be a bit too late now, but we'll see what's like for time. It's just, what is this stuff? That's really bizarre. I mean, it's thick. It's concentrated, whatever it is, like. It's not just a wee dust. So yeah, very, very strange, whatever it is. It does look like it goes further out as well. The substance, obviously, when it gets nearer the shallower, it will be more concentrated because of the more parts per volume of whatever it is. But in the centre it's deeper, so it will be more dissolved. and just light particles will float in the substance. It'll just float on the top further out, but obviously it'll congregate around the edges. It's about 3 miles long, this loch, and I'm kind of half tempted to go down to Lintratham and have a look at its reservoir, see if there's anything like this there as well. So, 5th of November 2023 here at Backwater Dam Reservoir in Scotland. So there's lots of people around here as well. At the other end of the car park, it's about to have been seen by loads and loads of people. I'm going to see if we can get down to Lintratham before it's too dark. It's about 6 miles away. So I've driven to Lintratham Reservoir. I'm going to have a look at the water here and see what the water's like. No, it's not quite so easy to get to. Let's see what there is. Oops, I'll be careful with the stern on. Sink. Right, there is something in it. I think I could just see the outline of something. It's not very clear, but I can faintly see it with my naked eye and try to show in the camera as well, but there is something there, like very faintly, but it's not as clear as the other one up at the Backwater Dam Reservoir, but it certainly looks like there's the water's quite still. So you're getting the reflection of the clouds, but that's not it obviously, but there is something there, sort of lines about there. Whether it is the same substance or not, I don't know. For this angle, it's certainly looking suspiciously like it. I mean, I've got it on my mind because I've seen so much of it at Backwater Reservoir. Well, this is just this area. If I get maybe more of an aerial view from further along towards the village. I don't want to just stand on things and be careful here. Right, so on this side there definitely is something in the water. It might be a little bit clearer this time for the camera. That area, it's a kind of the similar substance to what I've seen. It looks similar to what I saw up at Backwater Reservoir. Ah, no, it's actually quite a bit clearer here. Now we'll go and chuck something in, like a stone or something, and see what happens. So to find a stone is easier said than done. But I had to get some sort of twig, and I'll just throw that in. Pathetic really, but that's the best I could do to try and show what the water's behaving like. I'll have to do better than that. I'm sure it's just going to be the same sort of character as the stuff up at Backwater Dam. No, I can't even reach this branch that was already lying there. It's pretty crap really, but I'll try and see if I could disturb the water to show what's happening with the substance. Now that there is a green, that's I think that's a plant or a leaf or something below it, but that stuff there isn't. So I really suspect that that's the same sort of substance that's up at the other reservoir. I can see it with the naked eye going further out as well. So I'd like to get a big docket and chuck that in, but I can't find any, unfortunately. There's none nearby. They've been cutting the branches, I've been noticing, and there's some lying about. There's a long one, but they're longer than the other one I had anyway. I can try and stop the water with this, but it's a pretty poor show, but it's the best I can do. What I've got, just to try and... Yep, it's dispersing, it's certainly powdering out, it's dissolving like, just like what it was up at the other reservoir. So yep, I'm convinced it's the same stuff. Well, certainly I suspect it's the same stuff anyway, going by what I'm seeing. All that leaves and plants and overgrowth all help disperse it's kind of baffling the waves, so we're not getting the same water ripple effect as it did up at the backwater, because this is breaking the wave, so it's not mixing when I whack the water with the branch there, it's not really producing much waves, because all this overgrowth acting as a kind of baffle, it's deflecting the waves back, and it's not really mixing the stuff up very well. But from what it did, the slight mixture there did mix the same way as the stuff up at the other reservoir. So I suspect it'll be the same all the way through out the loch. This is Lintrathen Reservoir. Sorry. This is Lintrathen Reservoir. And I got here in time before it got too dark. And like I suspected, I thought I'd seen it there anyway. And I'm going to guess that's the same as the stuff that's just still there, which is the same stuff up at Backwater Reservoir, is my suspicion. As I said, it looks like it, behaves like it, it's at the same time, it's shown in the same sort of manner as the other reservoir, so I suspect it's the same stuff. But it's got more of a green colour to it compared to the yellowy powder stuff that I saw in Dundee, which I've got a small sample of. I've got a bigger sample of the green stuff from the loch with a bottle, an empty bottle. But the yellow powdery stuff I only managed to retrieve from a puddle in Dundee, and it was just a small amount because couldn't really extract the water into it, because I had no means of doing so very well within the time and what I've had from what I had with me at that point in time. So I've just done the best I could with what I had. So I've got a tiny wee sample of the yellow powdery stuff that I got from Dundee's streets a few months back. But I just luckily had an empty bottle in the car a bit, and I was able to fill that up, 500ml, quite to the top. So I've got a good sample of that. There's not really much point in taking a sample of the water from here. I suspect it'll be the same stuff. I don't have a bottle to sample it anyway to confirm it, but I haven't yet got a plan to do. I've no plan with the sample, what to do with the sample yet at this moment, but I've got it at least, and I'll just decide what to do with it later. Analyse it or what not. I'll decide what to do later. We'll research into it later for my own records. So, same date, 5th of November 2023, here at the Lintrathen Reservoir in Scotland. I don't really need to mention all that, but because I've made this video suitable for online, I better keep it within these... keep it suitable. So it's actually, this video is doubling up as a record for my own records, and I could share it with you as well for anybody that wants to stick something in the comments with your suggestions to what this substance may be. And just showing you for general interest as well, because I'm interested to learn what's going on. Okay, I think that'll do for now. I think what I'll probably do when I get out of here is head down to the other part of the Lintrathen and get an aerial view from it, or a higher up view from it. Not an aerial view, but a higher up view I don't really think it'll make much difference, but I'm heading that way anyway, so. Right, and this is where the hide is, by the way. Oops, that's where the, in case you're wondering. Oh, and I could hear something in the sky. No, I'll not go into that one on this, but trails, let's just say. I saw lots of trails in the sky, and I've heard these songs. Like jet planes. But I can't see what it is because I don't know. If this substance might just be showing up in the water, but it could be everywhere else as well, if it's coming from above. Let's put it like this. I was driving up here earlier, just a couple of hours ago. It was a blue sky. No, there wasn't very many clouds in the sky. Now, when I see the trails, as per usual, that's been happening lately, it gets cloudy. I'll just leave it at that. But that's an observation that I've made. I've also heard of geoengineering. I've heard of it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what it is, but I've heard of geoengineering. I've heard of the term chemtrails being mentioned. I've witnessed trails behaving strangely in the sky, unlike what it used to do before. This is a fairly recent phenomenon. I could safely say what I've witnessed, and I've seen them. You know, squiggly lines and flying in all sorts of lines and squiggly, still going in a straight line, very faint. Then the trail would disappear, like what I was taught once of contrails. Whereas these trails I've been seeing lately are big thick trails, and they stay, and then they form into clouds. Could have witnessed it happening. Forms into what appears to be clouds, and then lo and below, shortly, not long after, forms in front of the sun, and then becomes dimmer, and the whole sky becomes cloudy. Now, I could just say what I've seen. I've heard of well, I can't really say any more than that, but I've certainly seen strange things in the sky as far as these trails have got concerned. I've got videos on it. If you look at my Quest videos, then you'll probably get some footage of that on there. I can't remember where they all are at this specific moment in time, but I definitely have footage of it. Some impressive images of these trails. Anyway, I'm going to move way along there and have a wee look at the loch over at that end. So it's getting a bit dark, but this is further down Green Reservoir. I can't really see very well anyway because of the lower light levels, but I wonder if that's something over there, or is that maybe just a reflection of the clouds? That kind of green, well, it looks like a bit of a green band. I might just be seeing things now because it's getting darker. You know, it's harder to tell, but it's kind of like looking like it's staying stationary when I move the point of perspective, as you could see, and moving around, and the point is still static. I mean, it isn't like a reflection of the clouds. It must be something there, like a flotation of the substance. No, you might just make it out. It's not very clear in here, but I could certainly see it on my naked eye anyway. I try to get it shown here as best I can, but it's a bit, unfortunately, it's a wee bit thingy. It's sort of that thick there, like a band of green. Now I've moved, and if it was a reflection, it would have moved as well. You know, but the point of perspective wasn't moving, the position, the reflection would appear differently. But that, if it's something there, won't move if it's an object in the water, or a substance in the water, like. But yeah, I suspect it's going to be widespread, like. Now, I've seen, as I said, I've mentioned earlier that I've seen froth and puddles on the main roads and that in Dundee and round the areas, and it's not from the reservoir. Yeah, so if I've seen it on roads, water on roads, and then puddles on pavements, like a white froth, then it's going to be coming from, possibly, I'm not saying that it is, but it may come from above. And what goes up there? What would carry substances up there? Well, planes would, wouldn't they? Helicopters, aircrafts. That's just to my knowledge at the moment. I don't know what else could go up there. Obviously there could be more things, more technology I haven't heard of, who knows. But I don't know. But I'm just saying that it might come down from above, because it's not just in the water. As I say, I've seen a yellow powdery substance on the pavements, which will be showing up in puddles and on roads. When traffic goes across them, you see the tyre marks and it leaves this white frothy, and in that instance a few months ago it was a yellow powdery substance that behaved the same as this green substance is in the water. So the roads are dry at the moment. Well, dryish at the moment. So I can't really say what's there. I'm going to have a look at that puddle. There is a couple of puddles in it, but I don't know if it's going to show up much. Probably just be too muddy anyway. It's hard to tell, but this one didn't know there's people there, but it's a bit busy. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to leave it at this at the moment. I've had a look. So to summarise, I've noticed the green substance in the Backwater Dam reservoir, which is upstream. It's up in that direction. And then further down at Lintrathen Reservoir, I saw it up at the Hyde, or the shed, the lookout shed, which is just up there on that bank, further up a wee bit. And I suspect I could see it here as well. I'm not 100% sure I could see it from here, but I'm suspecting I can. It's certainly not as clear. But I mean, the water, if it's going to be there, it's going to flow down this way anyway, because that's going towards the south. And it's going downstream towards the water treatment, and then into Dundee to supply it with drinking water and the local areas as well. So I would probably be deeper there as well, so it'll be kind of like stirred in, mixed in more, diluted if you like. But where I was at earlier at Backwater, because it was near the edges, the shore, it kind of congregates and becomes concentrated. And at the Hyde, on this side, on this reservoir, that shed I was at, again the water was shallower than it is out there, so I was congregating a wee bit there as well. So as I say, I suspect it'll be probably all over the loch, and it may even possibly be all over everything else. But like I said, if it's wet, it will show it up more for some reason. Right, so that'll do. 5th of November 2023 here at Lintrathen Reservoir in Scotland. This is at Clato Reservoir. This is at Clato Reservoir, and the green substance that was at Backwater Dam Reservoir and at Lintrathen is also here. So whatever it is, I walked right the way around and I didn't see it around the peripherals until I got to this point. I didn't think I was going to see anything, but I just happened to look down this way and there it was. Now it's exactly the same sort of substance as what was at the other two reservoirs. Now this is Clato Reservoir in Dundee. Lintrathen and Backwater Dam Reservoirs are about 20 miles, well maybe 15-16 miles up north from Dundee. Clato Reservoirs on the northwest corner of Dundee. Now I presume it's just going to behave in the same manner as it did at the other reservoirs. If I put a stick or something into it to see how it reacts with the water, and it does, it just reacts exactly the same as I'd expected it to do. It's incredibly chalky like substance. I've never saw this before, that's why I'm actually going to the extent of logging it in for my records. I made a video already, so I'm going to add this onto it as well. Now you can see how it's behaving. It's kind of dissolving like substance. I say I've never saw this before, otherwise I wouldn't be going to the actual trouble of doing this. I would just dismiss it and think it was normal. It isn't normal, because you know, it's not something I've seen before. never saw this before. Now I've come to the reservoirs over different times of the year and all different weathers. I've had heavy rain. I've had suggestions that it's stuff washing in from the heavy rains, but I personally I don't feel comfortable just to dismiss it that easily as that. I just think it's just my personal feeling on it, because I've never, as I say, seen this before until, well, basically since yesterday. Well, I did see green stuff in yellow stuff in Dundee just a few months back. This is this phenomenon is quite the frothy roads, water on the roads and on pavements, that's a fairly lately thing. I've noticed it in the recent years, but it was the yellow stuff I saw in Dundee, the powdery stuff. It's just incredible. Now it does look very thick, sludgy here, but it's maybe something that's reacting with the algae then, because as I say, I've never saw this before. So what's the actual change if it is algae? I'm just going to prod a stick into it, not touching it. Had to be a stick that doesn't even stand up to anything, did it? So this is actually probably this is just incredibly, it's like sort of paint or paste or something. In fact, I've never seen this. I've been to the reservoirs for many years over different times of the year, and I've never saw this before. I'm just smelling it, just not touching it, but kind of sulphury, like off sort of putting smell, sulphury, like off kind of foul smell, not very nice smell, like a sort of rotten egg smell slightly. So I didn't put it close to my nose, I just smelt it at a distance. But it is exactly the same sort of stuff that I saw at Clittle Reservoir or Lintratham Reservoir. I've visited these reservoirs for many years, over different times of the years. I go hiking and everything. I've seen lots of reservoirs before, and I've been to this one many times over the years as well. I never saw this before ever. And we've had heavy rains before. I know that we've had recently storms and that, but I just don't really see that. I don't feel like that's an explanation. That's just my feeling on it. I feel there's just something more to it. Like, it just seems odd to me. As I say, I've never saw this before. I wouldn't be doing this if it. I mean, what, I'm pushing 50, right? In 48, I've seen reservoirs many times over my life, over many different times of the years, over different weather conditions and all the rest of it. And I wouldn't be standing here today doing this if this was just normal. This is odd to me because it's drew my attention to it right away. I've said, what the heck is that? And I've visited that reservoir up in Backwater Dam many times. Taking a few pictures as well, and I've never come across stuff like this before. So anyway, I'm going to have to just round this off. It's the 6th of November 2023 here at the Clittle Reservoir in Dundee. Before I go, I've heard of algae before in the water. I've heard of it before. I've never seen it like that, behaving like that. I've seen algae, I've seen all sorts of shit in the waters, different waters in different places before, swamps and all sorts. But the nature of this is just different. It seems to behave and comes across, it looks different to what I've ever saw before. Has drawn my attention, especially up at Backwater Dam Reservoir. And I have saw signs like, algae and all this before, over the years, and I'm aware of that. And for goodness sake, I used to canoe in a boat in there in 1993. And I know this reservoir. And I know I've been here many times over the years. I've been to loads of places with reservoirs over the years, all over the country. I've been to many, and wouldn't be making a song and dance about this if it was just normal. I have not seen just the way it's behaving, the way just the nature of it just seems different, seems odd. That's just my feeling on it. And then just putting on my video, so it's actually a record for myself as well, but I can share this. There's no reason why I can't share it. I'd like to hear comments, interesting ones, if you've got any interesting explanations as to, well, your explanations as to what it is. I mean, your theories. I mean, I've heard already quite a few that pointing to the algae seems to be a popular one, but as I say, it just doesn't, it just feels wrong to me. It doesn't seem right, it just looks wrong. It's like not enough sun before. Right, that'll do then. I've logged it in. Okay, I'll stick this on another video and you could just watch them all together. Oh, and because if it's coming from the air, for example, I don't know where it's coming from, but if it were, like let's just say it's coming from above and it's all over everything, now it would not necessarily show up as much in a puddle, a small puddle of water, because it doesn't contain as much as the catchment of a large volume of water. And if the water's kind of flowing towards this valve body down there, which I reckon will be the deepest part of the loch, then it's going to accumulate all the powdery stuff from this mass amount of water and congregate down in the corners. It'll be everywhere. I mean, it's just that it's a big catchment and it shows up more in the reservoir if there's a current of water going down towards that way, the deeper part. I mean, it'll be, if it's from air and it's airborne, it's coming everywhere. If I don't know where it is from, I'm not suggesting or saying it's from that, I'm just saying if it were from above and it is over everything, the concentration levels in a puddle, if it's in that volume of water, it might not be enough to see it visibly. It'll still be there, but because it's congregated, because this large volume of water is maybe perhaps a slight current towards the deeper end, it's going to accumulate down that end and it'll show up all the catchment down there, because it's like a big net. The water will absorb it and it'll then wash down into that corner and show up much more easily to visually see, be higher concentrated level. But if the powder's everywhere, it'll be there, but it won't be visibly seen as much. It'll be uniformly spread, just like it would be over the surface of the water, but because the water's catching it and there's a slight current perhaps going down the deeper end, it's going to congregate down there. I'm just going to say that, like, no, I don't know what it is, but anyway, that's just to show you that in a Claddle reservoir. Not that I need to do that, but I'll do it anyway. So there you go, there you go, that'll do for now.